What's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 125 of the Tastecast, a weekly podcast where we talk about things, react to things, do a bunch of random shit. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
And a couple of quick reminders to download and play Street Fighter V and PUBG. Both offer for free on PlayStation Plus. Make sure to download those, play those, come back at the end of this month for Plus Club. Let us know what we thought of those games. We'll let you know what we thought of those games. My fucking mouth was like, stop. Stop doing what you're doing. You're going too fast. Our game of the month, picked by Chevy, is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. Make sure to download that and play that as well. It is a 1 to 4 player cooperative Final Fantasy game where you escort crystals around and fight things that try to make you not do that. Type in hashtag AskTLG on your comment if you'd like your comment to be considered to be on the show. We have a segment every episode where we read your comments and reply to them. If you want that to happen for you, type in hashtag AskTLG. Otherwise, I pick at random. We have a Patreon link down below as well. You can support the channel further than liking, commenting, sharing the videos, and watching them all the way through. Everything's appreciated. Thank you for your support. And I think that's everything. So, Tasty Cast typically start with what we've been playing, and I want to start with Chevy.
I played some Final Fantasy 14.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly just dabbled. So I leveled my ninja a little bit, and that was about it. Other than that, I downloaded another Android emulator for my PC. Been kind of messing around with some random mobile games. And that's pretty much it. I have not been very motivated to play anything last week, so.
Wait, so you play Final Fantasy 14, play an Android game?
Well, a few, yeah.
What Android games?
I tried the Seven Deadly Sins game. It's pretty good, but you got to be a fan of the anime, otherwise it's probably going to be lost on you.
Don't give a fuck.
And then played a little bit of Sin O Alice, which I like, but it is getting to a point now where I'm having a hard time leveling my characters up. So, unless there's something I'm missing, I've hit a wall with that game. And then I recently started playing Epic 7, which is very anime, but has a really fun combat system, so I've been enjoying that.
Would you recommend any of them to anybody ever?
Well, I mean, you gotta like mobile games in the first place. Otherwise, I would probably loosely recommend all three of them. So,
Not me. I try. Every time I try. Can't do it.
yeah, that's
Anything
it.
else?
No.
Speaking of mobile games, I have tried out xCloud via the Game Pass app through Xbox. If you don't know what that is, it is a cloud gaming streaming service that is now part of the whole Game Pass suite. It's $15 for the whole thing. You get PC. This is an advertisement. I'm just letting you guys know what it is. It is kind of an advertisement. Microsoft hit me up. You get Game Pass on PC and Xbox. You also get Xbox Live, Xbox, and you also get now xCloud, which is their cloud streaming. And I just want to talk about it real quick. I actually kind of showed you guys real fast what it's like. You can play it on your Wi-Fi, which is definitely the way to do it, or you can play it via whatever cell fucking service you got. I'm sure on 5G it'd run great. And you can play a bunch of games that are on Game Pass without downloading them. It's pretty fucking crazy. So far I've tried Minecraft Dungeons, which is the only game I found so far that actually has on-screen controls. They really want you to use a controller, which I would also say to do it, because even on the screen, it had like the bumper buttons on the screen and shit, and I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do that. Luckily, it's a pretty simple game, so a lot of it's just walk forward and hit A. But that run pretty well. When I was playing that at work, just playing it off my service, the quality would go down if I was starting to like kind of dip in my connection, and then at one point I had to stop to buffer, which I appreciated because I was getting attacked by like everybody at the time, so I was like, this is not the time to be lagging. But for the most part, it plays really well. I was able to sit there and play for like 30-40 minutes, and if the game was not playing very smoothly, I wouldn't even waste my time doing it. So pretty cool. Played Resident Evil 7. That's a weird one to be playing on your phone. Also played The Witcher 3. Very weird to play on your phone. What else? Forza Horizon 4. Played that on my phone. That one's a little tricky because there's a very minute latency to it a lot of the times. And in a game like that where you're driving like 146 miles per hour down the road, and every little fucking adjustment can, make you fly off the fucking road and kill
Second
you.
turns.
You start to notice that. Just like if you were to play like a competitive shooter, I don't think you'd have a good time unless that's the only way you can play the game. Then you're just gonna have to take what you can get. And for $15, it's pretty decent. But outside of that, most games I've played, they're like action type games, are very playable. It's really kind of crazy. I mean, we've been talking about the advent of cloud gaming on this channel since the channel has existed. So it's kind of cool to finally see where it's at. Obviously, Stadia came out, didn't win anyone over. But as I've said a lot of times, Xbox offering this as part of the package makes more sense. I'm not sitting here, even though I kind of wanted to play it here at home on my laptop. You can't do that yet. I'm sure there's some kind of Android, app you could download for your computer to do it.
That when I got to play mobile games, immediately popped up and said play Xbox games through
Interesting.
the app on this emulator. So
Which is something I would want to try out on my laptop because my laptop plays like low end games just fine. It's more, it's really a faster laptop. It doesn't have good graphical prowess, but with something like that, it'd be cool to be able to connect and play whatever the fuck I wanted on there. So, which I know is coming. But yeah, to be able to do it on my phone, that was really cool. And it is still in beta too, and it runs really well for a beta. So I can't wait to see where they take it. I really think this will be a huge thing in the future when it comes to gaming, and something that I think PlayStation should look into. They already have PS Now, but that's just over the internet in a way that's like that's still cloud gaming, but to be able to offer you to be able to play your saved games on your phone anywhere is really fucking cool. It's not the way I want to play games, but if I can play games like that while I don't have my other options, it's a cool way to go about it. So I definitely recommend it. It's $15. I mean, like if you got that spare $15 a month, it's definitely worth checking out. Plus Game Pass in general just has so many fucking games. Like there's one thing Xbox does well, it's Game Pass. I mean, that's Xbox to me now. It's not the console anymore. The console's a mini PC that they're like, you want to play Game Pass on here? That's what it is. So, I mean, even the conversation on Twitter has turned into that. People will like bring something about PS5 and they're like, well, Game Pass offers this. I'm like, we're not even talking about PS5 versus Xbox anymore. We're talking about PS5 versus Game Pass, which I mean, Game Pass is great. So if that's the hill you want to fight on, cool. Real games that I've downloaded and played. Let's see. I got Diabolical, which is only on the Epic Game Store. Kind of lame. It is a straight up ripoff of Quake. And that's a good thing. I love Quake. They don't really make Quake anymore. They make Quake Champions. It's pretty fun. And this is exactly that. Every weapon does what Quake weapons do. I recognize every single weapon. They all work the exact same way you would hope for. It's kind of neat because it's like colorful and friendly looking. Everybody's playing a robot, a big circular robot that jumps around. You get stickers you get to put on the robot, so like you can make faces or just put random shit on there to customize your robot. You get different skins for your weapons, so there's stuff to unlock there, which I'm always for. It doesn't play good though, which sucks. It feels like it'd play really tight, but like the aiming feels kind of off. It's a little floaty, and in a game like that, it needs to be really tight. I'm a real big fan of Quake, so it's hard for me to go. I don't know. I installed pretty quickly. It's gone. So it's a neat idea. Hopefully they tighten it up a bit, but yeah, it's kind of weird that a game like that. I mean, I think it's free. I'm pretty sure I didn't buy it.
I didn't pay for it.
I was thinking, I was like, did I buy it? No, I didn't. I probably gave it a little longer of a chance if I bought it just to justify the purchase. It's neat though, but I don't like that it's only on Epic Game Store. It's limiting the amount of people who can play it, and it's not as good as it could be. Although I like where their head's at, and I hope they support it and make it better. Played more Spellbreak, which is that magic-based battle royale. It's very fun. I like it a lot. I don't like how much the cosmetic items you unlock cost per how much you make per match. It does not seem fair. It's definitely like, hey, this is a free to play game. We got to make money, and I get that. I'm 100% willing to support you, but you also got to make it a little more fair. Make it kind of easy for me to get a couple cosmetics and then go, yeah, I kind of want that one too, so I'm gonna buy that. Like, I'm not opposed to doing that. This one feels a little like it's really trying to go like, game's fun, huh? Well, it's gonna take a long time to unlock that shit, and I don't like that. So that's the only thing. It's my big criticism. And for anyone who's like, well, you just gotta win. You gotta win. I've won. I've won fucking like 4 or 5 matches now.
Yeah, some games can just feel a little hungrier than others.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it
for sure.
does. It does. They could tweak it a little bit, but like, I've got like 500 coins right now. It costs like 1,200 for the lowest end shit, and I'm just like, well, Jesus Christ. Okay. Um, I'll be able to get one eventually, something, but
You get a piece in the next 3 years.
yeah, and then I have to do it all over again, and I'm just like, So that feels a bit predatory, but the game itself is really fun. I think it's either GameSpot or IGN came out and said that the game is fun and nails pretty much everything about it except for the map could use some work, and I 100% agree with them. It was really weird to read something from any of the publications and go, yeah, 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 no, I agree with that. That's cool. I don't always have to agree with you, but when I disagree with you like 99% of the time, you say something, I'm like, wait, yeah, no, I'm with you. Um, yeah, Spellbreak's cool. It's free to play. It's on everything and it cross plays with everything. So really, if you're curious about it, I've been trying to get Josh to play it for fucking like a week, and he keeps like just like derailing. He's like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, but I've been playing this. I'm like, yeah, but Spellbreak's like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds great. But anyway. And then like I was talking to him, he's like, "Is it on like PC or something?" I'm like, "It's on everything. You can play it wherever the fuck you want, and you can play with me on any console you want. Doesn't matter. Just pick your poison." He's like, "Oh, maybe I'll have to download it." And I'm like, played more Last of Us Part 2. Getting closer to beating that. Didn't put as much time in it as I wanted to. I woke up like an hour early before I had to leave for work, and I just played it a little bit. And yeah, I hope to beat that this week. I'm on vacation this week, so I plan on trying to knock out Last of Us Part 2. I want to put time into Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I want to put time into Ghost of Tsushima and other games. I want to do some streams this week as well, but which I've already done two. Make sure to go check out Bigfoot and fucking Deep Rock Galactic. We played those, and I'll talk about that. Yeah. Last of Us Part 2, though. Want to beat it. I'm going to beat it. And speaking of Deep Rock Galactic, we played that yesterday. And it was a lot of fun. We played for almost 5 hours. Did a lot of digging. Did a lot of coordinated efforts. Did a lot of get fucked by the game deciding that it needed to really just send everything it had at us. There's like 4 different missions we went on where it just sent like a shitload of detonators at us, which are these big guys who take a lot of hits, and when they die, they fucking explode and blow up like a whole room. A lot of lava level missions that we had to go on, which always exacerbates traversal, also combat, because when you blow up the ground on those maps, it leaves lava and you can't walk there anymore. So it gets kind of tricky, but it's still really fun. I'll let you obviously talk about your thoughts on it in a sec, but it was cool to actually get to play with you
Yeah.
on it because we were streaming. You're like, hey, can I hop in? I'm like, fuck yeah. So you're playing Scout. I was playing. Triller. I always call him Digger, which I mean, same thing, but it's not his name. And then we had somebody playing Engineer and somebody playing Gunner for a while, so that was cool to have a full team, and would like to do it again. And then I played Bigfoot also with people. Shout out to everyone I played with. We did a stream of that as well. And Bigfoot is a very cheaply made $15 game where you and up to 4 other people get to hunt Bigfoot, and that's literally the game. You get to hunt him, and he's very fast. He's very fast, very spry, very sporadic. His AI is either attack you or run, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. Sometimes he'll attack you for whatever reason, whether I don't know, and sometimes he'll run away for whatever reason.
He's moody.
You can put a trap down, he'll just skip it and come and beat your ass. You can shoot him, and he'll come run at you and beat the fuck out of you. Or you can shoot him, and he'll run away. Like he really doesn't have. I feel like he's confused the whole time. Because like there's nothing really going on. Anyway, in this game, you start off at like a helicopter on one map or a car on the other map, and you grab all your equipment. One of the levels has equipment, the other one you have to go find it. I don't know why they showed up there looking for Bigfoot without equipment, but the first one they were smarter about it, and they brought rifles and a drone, a really shitty drone, and tracking bolts, all sorts of shit. And you grab all that stuff, and then you go out in the woods, you put traps down that attract everything except for Bigfoot. They come, they look at the trap, you grab your gun and blast them, and you're out hunting too, I guess. And then, yeah, Bigfoot sometimes just shows himself, and will just come attacking you. Like you feel like you're supposed to be out there hunting this mysterious Bigfoot, and sometimes he just like shows up, comes running at you, starts beating the fuck out of everybody, and it's really scary. And then he'll run away. As soon as he drops everybody, he just runs away. It's a fucking drive-by flipping. I really like the idea of the game. I really like what the game could be. It's really undercooked, understandably so. It looks like it did not take very long to make, or that 1 to 2 people worked on it, which is good for them. It works as a game sometimes, but a couple things I don't like about it. And people keep offering me, like, well, you're supposed to trap him. You're supposed to blah, 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 all this stuff. I get that. But everybody there's got rifles, full-on rifles. And you have rifle rounds, bullets. It doesn't say tranks on the box. And when you shoot him, it literally does like this much damage per bullet. Even when you shoot Josh in the face over and over and over again, it does like this much damage to Josh's face. I tested. I mean, traps are pretty effective. I put one of those down. I walked over and I went face first in dirt. Boom, just hit the ground. That was fucked up. Someone else we played with stood in the trap, and it made them fly into the sky after we rezzed her, which was weird. I didn't get to see that on my screen, but everybody else is seeing it apparently. Let's see, and there's just a lot of fucking weird shit going on in this game. A lot of like, this game's not finished, not remotely close to finished. Stuff going on in this game. Oh, and then like when we did the snow level, fucking the Yeti, it's just Bigfoot, only super fucking bright. We're looking for him. I walk in a cave, and I look over to the right, and I thought I saw like a bush, and then I see it's Bigfoot, and his head's stuck in the wall. He's just head stuck in there. He's going, whoa, just kind of growling and shit. I look down just to confirm, and he's got not big feet, but medium-sized feet, but he's definitely got feet. And I was just like, I found Bigfoot. And everybody's like, fucking kill him. And I'm like, okay. So I run up, start slicing him up. And even then, it fucking took forever to just burn him down. Yeah. I had to wait till Cody to show up. He fired one shot. It barely did damage. I'm like, just get your knife out. Let's go. He fucking runs over. And we're just cutting him up. It started going a little faster. Finally, he drops on the ground. And we fucking captured him. Like, we took knives and we cut him up for fucking 20 minutes. And then when he's weak from that, we put him in a cage and sent him off. I'm like, that's kind of fucking cruel. We also, just to throw it out there, started the game. Cody was completely against killing Bigfoot. He was kind of upset about it. We started the game. He's like, we're going to kill him? I'm like, yeah, we're hunting him. And he's like, we don't got to fucking kill him. And I'm like, well, we're gonna. That's what we got to do. After he got his ass kicked a couple times, his opinion changed, which makes sense. He's, suddenly like, okay, let's go kill this fucking guy.
Revenge.
But before that, he was talking about Harry and the Hendersons, all sorts of shit. He was not happy about killing Bigfoot. Which respect to him, because the other three of us, fucking, we were ready to murder that guy as soon as we showed up. So yeah, I like how Cody showed up not knowing what he was getting into. Even when we left the camp, he left without a rifle and just had a flare gun. And then he pretended he didn't he was like, oh, I forgot to bring the rifle, because he didn't want to kill Bigfoot. He's just out there going like, run, Bigfoot, run! Shooting flares and shit. Bigfoot's not that smart, though. Bigfoot likes to get fucking handsy and take rounds to the face. I shot that guy so many times. Okay, last thing about this. I shot him so many times, and Josh says he shot him a bunch of times. So fucking, after all those shots, we got him down like a sixth of the health bar. It's crazy. Rebalance that shit. Change his AI up a bit. Fucking, there's one point where like we put a trap down where we're just waiting. We're not even moving. I hear him just going boom, 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 boom. Going, arr. I'm like, is it coming to the trap? He just comes right up the hill, looks at me, and comes over to me and just kills me. I'm like, at least somebody did something, man. We've been doing a whole lot of fucking nothing out here. Then he went over, killed Josh, and Josh literally went, huh? Or he made some weird noise. He was like, or something. And he fucking died. It like literally scared him. So anyway, if you got $15 to waste, and you're curious about the game, I would definitely say check it out, but you're not gonna 100% like it. You're not. I mean, if you look at it's so weird too, you look at the reviews of the game on Steam, they're all positive. The game's very positively reviewed. That's the reason I bought it. And you go through there and people are just like, monkey. That's the fucking review. And all these people are saying weird things about monkeys. in the fucking comments. It's like a bunch of trolls play this game and they love it because it's stupid, and they just fucking are reviewing it positively. And I was like, okay, part of me gets that. I'm kind of them, but at the same time too, I'm a responsible, logical human being, and I'm like, I don't know if people should buy this. So, and then if you look at the server list, they're all named really crazy things. So the communities, it definitely has a community of Bigfoot hunters. I'd like to play it more, but I'd like to hope they're going to update it. I don't know if they will. So, yeah. So what I've been playing.
Well, I've been playing a little bit of 14, did the raid, and kind of just hopped out after that. I haven't really been playing it much other than the raiding.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have too much to do in the game though, because like I've got a max of every class except for like, you know, one in each category missing, but they're all in like 60s, 70s, so I don't have too much further to go in all those.
Gotcha.
And then all that's left is raiding and hardcore content, which I'm not super interested in the super hardcore content, but I like raiding because I'm with the free company, the guild, so I like, you know, doing that stuff, figuring it out. But we're stuck in a wall with Conflag and Rock to Pasta Mama.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
I just been calling it pasta.
The pasta's got us stuck, and it's getting a little tiresome, but you know, it's whatever. And then I've been playing World of Warcraft.
Mm-hmm.
I have a max level character already, and
How much time did that take?
maybe 2-3 days,
Nice.
maybe if that even.
That's wild.
I've been leveling. My max character is a druid. Just because I like to be able to fly and pick up objects at the same time. I don't like to have to mount and dismount and do it. So I can just fly, swoop in at objectives, pick up the objects, and just fly away without fighting anything. It's great.
Sounds about right.
But I'm leveling a monk right now because I like those classes that could be tank, heals, or DPS. You know, multi-classing is great.
That's cool.
And I'm already in the 80s as of for like 2 days of grinding, if that.
Are you liking it?
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's just nostalgia, really, at this
Yeah.
point. It's a lot of nostalgia. But it's fun when I play with people. By myself, it's kind of like I'm gonna play it in the background while I watch something, kind of mindless grinding.
Yeah, that's what I do with Guild Wars 2.
But it's fun. I mean, I'm playing an undead monk, so I have no jaw, so my tongue just kind of waggles as I walk about. It's great.
Going on a walkabout.
His name is Hurlbart. It's great. It's great. I also played a little bit of Deep Rock Galactic.
Yep.
I was the scout, and then I didn't even realize I had a zip line until like the third mission. When you guys were like, use your zip line. I'm like, wait, what? Use the what?
Like zip line. And then you jumped on Josh's zip line. I was like, no, I mean grappling hook.
And then I wouldn't stop using it. I was just fly out.
That's what he's good for. I've seen a couple times playing with random people, like we'll be like in a level super vertical and someone just falls and dies. And they just go, just fly down there and get him back up and then fly back up. And then the guy's got to find a way up and shit. I'm like, you're alive, so fucking you can't really complain.
It's fun. I did find a weird, I don't know if it's a bug or whatnot, but I was able to push Runty around while I was on
Yeah, not me though.
my zip line. I could just get behind her and just take off with her.
I mean, that sounds kind of handy.
It was pretty neat.
It's like some Batman shit. With me though, you're like, get ready. I'm just looking at you. I'm like, what? And you're like, all right, let's go. And then you just went right past me. And I look up, and you're just like up on there, and you're still talking like we went. I'm just looking at you, and they turn. You're like, what? You didn't come up here. I'm like, no. Like, okay, hold on. You come back down. You try it out. You ended up falling and fucking dying while doing this, and then a fucking swarm showed up.
Yep.
And I'm like,
Oh.
of course. The game's like, oh, they're fucking around. Send them in.
But they're fun. I like the mobility of it. It's really nice. It's a fun game though overall. Just getting drunk on your character and
Pretty much. Yeah, you sit around drinking.
drinking, dancing, and mining. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And then the last thing I've been playing a lot of is well, I played a little bit of Street Fighter. Can't talk about that. But I've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter lately. Just kind of grinding out again, trying to get back up there to the end game content before the last monster comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I still can't decide even now what weapons I like to play with because I always have a problem with choosing weapons.
Yeah.
I play everything. But I've been trying to focus on dual daggers at this point because mobility. I really like mobility these days.
Oh, yeah.
Before I was like hunting horn and sword and board, just kind of utility weapons, and now I'm just like, I gotta go fast.
Yeah, I used to use the fucking daggers often, but then I really got into the insect glaive, so which is also a pretty mobile weapon. So
I also played a little bit of Monster Hunter on the Switch. What is that one called?
Generations.
Generations. And man, going back to that, like I even tried Insect Glaive, it is completely different.
yep,
Oh my god.
yeah, it's
It
crazy.
is so hard to use that weapon on Generations. Like, you can't change
I
directions
wasn't
in the
a
air.
fan of the thing originally, and then I played it in fucking World, and I was like, oh my god, I love this thing.
Yeah, they changed it completely.
Yeah.
It's so much smoother and easier to control. And before it was just literally like a pole vault. You're like, oh, I'm going up and down.
Yeah, that's what I remember. Because I was like, oh, that sounds cool, and then like, because I like staffs in games typically, and I like mobility, and then yeah, I played it like on the older games, and I was like, I don't know if I like this because it felt kind of sticky, kind of felt stiff the way you move,
Yeah.
and then in fucking World, you're just like flying around like a helicopter and jumping on people and doing backflips and shit, and it's way more preferable for me.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. I haven't touched Insect Glaives too much in that game in the new one, World, but I think about it now and then. But I'm like, nope, just gotta focus on what I'm doing. Just stay with this one.
Josh hit me up yesterday trying to get me to buy that on PC. I humored it.
You can get to the base game really fucking quick.
Did they change that?
There's an armor set and weapons that are made specifically that you can make out of like just a piece of iron that can get you through the base game really fast.
Interesting.
It's still the same like amount, like still monster hunts and all that stuff, but the armor is so strong and the weapons are so strong, like you just like beat the shit out of monsters and get out of there.
Yeah, that's probably the way I'd want to do it then, because I don't really want to go through the whole game again. As fun as it is, I just don't want to. I put like fucking not as much as a lot of people, but like 300 hours into it. And I don't want to put another 300 hours into the same progress I've made.
Right, right. That set will carry you all the way up to Iceborne. Then once you hit Iceborne, you have to start making sets.
Yeah, because I've only done like 5 different hunts in Iceborne.
Yeah,
so,
barely touched Iceborne.
So if I just could, get up to Iceborne, I'd pretty much be doing what I'm already doing right now.
You can
so,
do it in a day. You can sit down for a whole day's worth of gameplay and just blast through it.
And you said it loads faster on PC and all that shit?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He was telling me about it. I was humoring it, so
If you I have the high res texture pack, that takes a little bit faster than what PlayStation 4 is, but it's high res textures. Without that, it's just like go, go, go.
maybe the third time I bought that game, but I don't mind supporting that game. So
Fucking, I got hit up on Instagram today by, oh, I guess I won't really use their name, but they I had brought up, if they humored playing Final Fantasy 14, and they said MMOs are too addictive for them, so they didn't really want to, but they were playing a lot of Monster Hunter World. I was like, yeah, I've seen you play with Chris a lot lately, and he's like, so you picked that up, you can play? I was like, I don't know if I want to go through the whole game again.
yeah.
But I'll let you know if I pick it up. So
I'm glad I'm not super addicted to MMOs. Like, I love them. I enjoy playing them, but I've never been addicted to one. It's just good.
yeah, I don't know if I'd say addicted either. I definitely enjoy playing them a lot,
I
though.
don't know, man. You're into 14.
Sure, I really enjoy it, but I mean, I've barely been playing that lately too. So
It's a good way to pass the time. when you have
I'm not
nothing
really
better
playing
to do.
anything lately though. So
I mean, if someone calls me like, "Hey, let's go hang out," and there's no Corona going about, I'd be like, "Yeah, sure, drop the game, go." But
Yeah.
if nothing else going on, I'm gonna sit there and game my brains out.
I mean, that's pretty much what MMOs are for me. It's like I'm not doing anything. I'm gonna play an MMO.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Anything else?
Not that I can think of. No.
Me neither. Anything else?
no, I didn't play anything.
All right, let us know in the comments what games have you guys been playing? What games are you really enjoying? Have you played Bigfoot? Do you have any interest in Bigfoot? Did I sell you Bigfoot? Are you excited to play Bigfoot? Hopefully it comes out on next-gen consoles. So that is a big old game.
Damn.
And
Chris.
yeah, let us know everything you think about in the comments below. All right, we are playing catch up again. This only came out like a day or two ago, but we are going to be watching the Monster Hunter Direct, which is when they showed off the new Monster Hunter Rise. I think think this came out, 17th? So yeah, we're 3 days late. And yeah, I've only seen a couple things on this. So this will be pretty, this is going to be a big surprise for me. Although I did see that, well, you probably haven't seen anything on it, so I'm not going to talk about it. So yeah, we're going to watch this. We're going to react to it. We're going to talk about it. It's kind of weird to be reacting to a Monster Hunter video again because, I mean, that was like, midway through this channel's life, something that we did a lot. We gained a lot of subscribers from that. And it's kind of exciting to see a new Monster Hunter coming out. So anything you guys want to say before we watch this?
I'm so fucking excited.
Me too. All right, let's just watch it.
Hello there, everyone. I'm Ryozo Tsujimoto, producer at Capcom. In this direct, we'll be showing off the latest games in the Monster Hunter series. To kick things off, please take a look at this announcement trailer.
If you insist.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my pop.
I think it's a oh, that's my pup.
Oh, that's my pup.
Pork and Doge.
That's fucking cool. He's right up a fucking.
So that's like the Paladin, the Tail Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what I love.
Yeah. Damn, traversal is a motherfucker in this.
I just got an important letter. It looks like we've got a rampage on our hands.
I hate when that happens. Yeah. There's a lot of shit going on here.
It's a crane. Oh,
cool.
Crane fire monster.
Touch from the dawn. Ew!
Alligator.
Little chunker.
That's cool.
It's
Sounds
been
like
50
Jaguars
years
games.
since the last
Yeah, it kind of looked like it.
That
That's
monster is known
Toby
Yeah.
Kadachi.
Magnum Hollow.
That old boy right there.
This one is definitely going like very Japanese.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Which is cool, yeah. Looks different. Doesn't look just like World.
Umbrella weapon.
It's grappling. Yeah, I guess grappling. That was a
Looks.
comma.
Comma.
Very cool.
New weapons.
Also,
Shall we go?
This is
Are they gonna summon Mothra?
Oh! So next year, pretty early on.
that was a lot more unique than I was expecting.
Yeah.
So, what did you think about Monster Hunter Rise?
Pretty cool.
The rise in the title refers to the idea of hunters running up cliffs and making
Yeah, I'm
use of the
seeing that.
verticality of the environment, as well as our desire to create a game that gets lots of people around the world bursting with excitement.
So cool.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Monster Hunter is a hunting action game series where players get to confront huge monsters in majestic natural
Confront them. You're
environments.
just like, hey, you.
It's
I heard
been
what you said
16
about me.
years
You're like,
since
what?
the
I didn't
debut
fucking
of the
say that.
series.
Dude.
Nani?
And this new entry will take advantage of the portability of the Nintendo Switch to provide a Monster Hunter experience that anyone can enjoy whenever and
Which
wherever
I love.
they
We'll talk
want.
about that.
I recognize that bear.
Now, before we talk more about the game itself, I'd like to introduce Yasunori Ichinose,
Look like
the
it, yeah.
game's
Someone in
director.
comics books. They're actually from.
Hello, everyone.
Right.
I'm Yasunori Ichinose, the director. It's nice to be here today.
First, I'd like to talk about the new actions we've added to this game.
Here's the ninja.
This game will let you go to all kinds of places on the map, such as cliffs and elevated platforms.
These new actions are made possible thanks to a little creature called the wire bug.
This is called fucking Monster Gaiden
The
Sigma.
player carries several of these small bugs around, and they allow you to climb to a variety of places that would normally be out of reach.
Huh.
You just get the fuck around.
Additionally, there's a great variety of actions you can perform by combining the wire bugs with attacks. Using these unique attacks with your favorite weapon is what the combat is going to be all about.
Hell yeah.
Thanks to the wire bug,
That's cool. You
there's
can
now a
fucking
lot more variation of
use it
movement
as-
and attacks,
What is that?
leading to versatile, fast-paced combat.
Oh, it's the sword and board, but
Next,
it's...
I'd like to talk more about the
Yeah,
environments.
that's weird.
When you start a quest, you'll be whisked to an open map that forms one single seamless locale.
Just like World.
I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
they're
interesting.
probably using the same.
Yeah, well, they definitely are. There's some animations there that look the same.
Of course, we've made sure to create the locales to make full use of the wire bug's abilities.
Now I'd like to tell you a little bit about one of the new areas in this game, which we already showed a glimpse of in the trailer just now, called the Shrine
Japan.
Ruins. From the starting camp,
Japan.
you run down the mountain to get to the main field. This area is characterized by the scattered ruins of an ancient shrine, hence the name. I can't explain in too much detail, but there are lots of things to discover across each locale, so I hope you take the time to explore when going on your hunts.
That's so weird.
So awesome.
Next, I'd like to show you a new type of canine buddy known as a palamute.
Palamute.
The Palico Palamute.
These canines can run around with hunters sitting on their backs. While you're riding one, your stamina doesn't decrease, so you can keep running at high speed for as long as you want.
Just running vertically up the fucking cliff.
It's like watching
You'll
some
also
monster
be
run
able to
away from
perform
you.
various actions, like using
Ow.
certain items, or recovering
Yeah,
your
it's
health.
like the Raider Riders. You can
As an attacker type, they will help you out in
repairs to
various
get on
ways.
How does attacks do? That's cool.
Naturally, the feline palico from past games also make their return again.
I love his outfit.
They will help you out as a support type.
What the hell are those things?
Looks like the healing.
You can take 2 buddies
You
with
got
you on a
fucking 2 of
quest,
them?
and you are free to decide which combination of buddies
That
you want.
reminds me of Generation.
In
Is that Generations that
multiplayer,
did
each
that, or
one
is
Yeah,
can
that?
bring one
yeah,
buddy
yeah.
with
Yeah,
them.
that's neat.
That means there's gonna be missions
Next,
where you
I'd like
beat
to
them.
talk about the new monsters.
First, this is the flagship monster for this game, Magnamalo. We can't show it in full yet, but it's a fearsome fanged wyvern with a strong air of menace about it.
It's very Japanese.
The next monster is Acnosom. Acnosom is a bird wyvern that attacks hunters with its characteristic crest
Why?
by changing its shape and using it as a weapon. This monster is the bird wyvern Great Izuchi. Its main characteristic is
Damn.
that it tends to move around in groups of 3, attacking all at once or in succession. The key to hunting them lies in how
Why do
you
they just like
defend
fly around
against
like
these
that? It's
attacks.
fucking kind of dope looking.
Yeah.
And this is the amphibian Tetranodon. It swallows up gravel to expand
do
its
that
body
big
and then
one
charges
for,
at hunters.
Try. The
As
big
its
yellow
body changes,
That's
so
Psyduck.
do its attacks.
I was say I love this.
So you'll need to change your approach on
bill.
the fly while dealing with them.
As you can
Damn,
see,
some
Tetranodon
wrestlers.
and Arzuros are in a fight here.
Azuros.
We are working on new gameplay elements
Oh,
that
no.
arise through
Oh.
fights between monsters. We'll share more
This
about
is
this at a
scary.
later
So
date.
the territorial fights.
Of course,
love how they're
there are
just
other returning
sumo
monsters,
wrestling.
including Arzuros
He's trying to
and
eat
plenty
him.
of new monsters too. So please look forward
I don't have
to
to
more
fight you if
monster
you're in my
info
stomach.
in the future. Next, I'd like to show your base in this game.
Japan.
It's Iron Town.
Your base in this game is called Kamura Village.
They're making
Yeah.
All the
mochi.
conveniences a hunter needs, like the smithy and other facilities. And all kinds of colorful
The size
characters.
of that rice ball.
The story in this game unfolds through the characters of this village.
I just got an important letter. It looks like we've got a rampage on our hands.
The commander.
I can't say
President
anything
Hachi.
yet about the rampage, but we are aiming to provide a new experience with this, so please look forward to future announcements.
We hope you liked what we've shown so far. To close things off, I'd like to share the release date and the details on the different versions. As we announced in the trailer, the game will
Also
release on March 26th, 2021,
Oh, wait, there
and
is
you'll
a
be able to choose from the following versions: the Standard Edition and the Deluxe Edition with a bundle of recommended DLC.
Yeah, it's cool.
Supply will be limited, but
Damn.
all versions will
cat's
include
cheeks.
special layered armor for a Palamute and Palico, plus a Novice Talisman as pre-order
Look at his
bonus.
hands.
It's gross.
Kind of creepy.
Also, we will be releasing these 3 amiibo from Monster Hunter Rise on the same
Oh, they weren't
day
showing
as the launch of
Magnamalo
the
off
game.
too much.
Yeah.
Using
There he
these
is, right
amiibo
there.
lets you unlock special layered armor. On top of that, you can also enter a daily lottery in the game for a
forgot
variety
about
of
amiibos.
useful items. We will provide more
They are kind of
details
smart
on
with
these
some of them and just
amiibo
start
in
getting
the
cards
future.
instead.
So they do have
We
layered
hope you'll
armor
get them
back in
along
this game,
with the
which is
game.
nice.
The game will also have some compatibility features with Monster Hunter Stories 2, which we also announced today. Please look forward to more
Thanks.
information on that as well.
More monsties?
For more information about Monster Hunter Rise, please check out our official website, which will go up later today.
It's literally Capcom going.
Pre-orders for the download
like Monster
version will
Hunter,
start
right? Well, let's
shortly
give you
after
more
this
Monster Hunter
Monster
to buy.
Hunter Direct.
Monster Hunter
please
World
head
Front
on
sold
over
so
to the
well.
Nintendo
Makes
eShop
sense.
and have a look.
Yeah, I really hope they're working on
Please
this
check
shit.
with your local
They gotta
retailer
be.
for pre-order information.
They're closing out Monster Hunter World with
Yeah.
fucking this last update.
That's all for Monster Hunter Rise for now. But Mr. Ichinose has a few final words for you.
Thank you for
Oh,
watching
she's
this
good.
introduction of Monster Hunter Rise.
At this point.
We are currently working hard on completing the development of this
World,
new Monster
the
Hunter
next one,
game.
which is effectively a whole
Your
game.
reaction to this announcement
And
will
then
give
now
us
this.
strength and motivation, so please let us know what you think. Please look forward to future updates.
Gotta go.
We hope you'll enjoy Monster Hunter Rise.
Well, I will.
Enjoy the hell out of it.
And I have to buy a controller.
Alright, next up, it's my pleasure to introduce the newest RPG in the Monster Hunter series, Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. Please take a look.
No, I refuse. Not gonna
And
look.
I said please, but I just can't.
First one's supposed to be really fun, but I was
Yeah, I never played it.
so overwhelmed with the amount of 3DS RPGs I had that I just did not pick it up.
It's like a Legend of Zelda game. Pokemon.
It's no mere coincidence that you were given Red's kinship stone, and now a Rathalos egg. This is destiny.
I'm so glad you're still alive. I thought I'd never see you again.
Okay, pal, let's do this.
Digimon.
Hey,
Damn.
what's that?
I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous, but it'll work out.
Aggressive hug.
Red? Moon's blessing emerge.
Quick, hurry! We don't know if it's the right monster. Our mission is to see if it truly has catastrophic power.
Rathalos are disappearing from their natural habitats.
Bye.
Angela?
Angie. Why didn't I play the last one?
You don't play mobile games.
Is this a mobile game?
Well, this one looks like it's on Switch.
That looks, yeah, way too clean.
Yep, Switch.
Good.
Apparently, they don't make 3DS games anymore.
Good. Actually, they're discontinuing them.
Yeah, they stopped it.
Yeah.
In this game, you'll
Just
become a
weird.
monster rider,
For some reason, I
traveling the
think it was
world
going
with your
forever.
monster companions as you tackle quests and experience a rich story
They have
set
a
in the
2-in-1
Monster
now.
Hunter universe.
Yep.
You'll be joined on
We're
your
planning on
adventure by a
working on the
number
next
of popular
fucking
monsters from the main
upgrade to
series.
it.
And the bonds you forge together will have far-reaching implications as the
I'll
plot
be more likely to
unfolds.
pick this one up then.
Our emotional
definitely
story
picking this up.
begins with
Looks
the
fucking
mass
awesome.
disappearance
Oh,
of
wait.
Rathalos from around the world.
Way too busy going vertical.
As the descendant of the legendary writer named Red,
I'm busy going
you
vertical.
have a fateful
that
encounter
mountain?
with a
I'll walk
Wyverian
up it.
girl
I climbed
who
them
has
up
been
4 times
entrusted
today.
with an egg.
Before lunch.
I can't say much more at this point in time, but just as the title of Story suggests, we're working hard to provide fans with a
Wasn't the first one, like,
fantastic narrative
60
worthy
plus
of the
hours long?
I
series.
think so, yeah.
On top of that,
Wanted to play
we're
it, but yeah,
including
I just don't
elements that connect
like
this
Slingshot,
game
fucking
with
mobile.
Monster Hunter Rise,
I don't know what the
so
compatibility
please look
features are.
forward
I'm
to that
curious
as
about
well.
What are you gonna give me?
With the game slated for release in summer 2021, we hope that Monster Hunter fans and all fans of RPGs
So
in general
fucking 2
will
Monster Hunter
enjoy
experiences
Monster
coming out
Hunter
next year.
Stories 2,
It's pretty cool.
Wings of Ruin. We can't wait to reveal more about this game in the future, so stay tuned. Today, we introduced you to 2 new titles, Monster Hunter Rise.
It's interesting how they've made a Monster Hunter that's on
Stories 2.
everything, which is great. It's awesome. Glad everybody can play Monster Hunter. It's like
We've
the best
created
Monster
official
Hunter.
websites
Just
and social
overall,
media
everything it
accounts for
offers,
each title,
but that they're still
so please go check
making
them out.
unique ones for
We are also
Nintendo,
planning to provide
essentially.
more updates at TGS
I also appreciate the
2020
Monster Hunter
online on
in
September
kind of a similar vein
25th
to like Fire Emblem, where they're
and
just
Capcom
willing
TGS
to be
Live
experimental with
2020
it constantly,
on September 26th.
while still keeping core
So
fundamentals.
please stay
Right,
tuned
right.
for more information. Thank you for watching this Monster Hunter Direct.
I don't have time for all this crap.
It's still so weird to see how big Monster Hunter's gotten, because like back in the day, like it was just a game called Monster Hunter, just fucking straight up Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
You look at it, it's just like fucking tribal dudes going after fucking big monsters, and now it's like Monster Hunter, and everybody's like, "Fuck yeah!" And I'm like, man, things have just changed so much. What do we think?
It's cool. I'm looking forward to being able to get a Monster Hunter experience on the Switch, especially because that system does allow for sitting at home playing video games, or if whenever traveling is a thing again, taking it with you. So, and no, it's awesome. And like I said, kind of a little bit earlier, I like that every time a Monster Hunter comes out, it's always like a new experience too. Because I remember even playing like, Monster Hunter like 3 and 4. And then Generations, and each one, like, there's something new to it. Like, was it Generations that had, like, the stances or styles or whatever in
yeah.
it, which was completely different feeling game at that point.
Yep.
World, like, really just kind of, like, made it a very smooth action experience type game without getting rid of the zone loading and stuff like that, and just making a real grand experience. And now that we have that, they can kind of take that quirkiness they had and still have that open world stuff with this game. So I'm actually kind of looking forward to it, because it's going to be a good hybrid between like old Monster Hunter feel and new Monster Hunter. So
And that's pretty much what I got out of it too. Is it seems to marry the modernity of Monster Hunter World, where what we're used to now in gameplay and stuff like that, but it also is kind of has some of that experimental nature that you're expecting from some of the older iterations. Also, I think it's neat that they've got this engine to work on Switch. Obviously, you can see in some of the environments, the geometry of the environments is a little less circular to make it run on the Switch. But I'm still thoroughly impressed, because I know the Switch is a much weaker console than the modern or current consoles right now. So it's really neat. It seems like there's a lot less things going on in the background too, with like ambient life, stuff like that. But it seems to run great. It seems like they got a lot of the animations from World going on here, and the fights seem to be. It's just interesting, because like I think about like the older Monster Hunters, and how more stiff they felt and stuff like that. And I kind of expected something like that more so on the Switch, but they've managed to bring a Monster Hunter World experience to the Switch while keeping it completely unique, kind of like what you're talking about and what we were saying as we watched it. The setting is brand new, so that's exciting. There's new weapons there. There's new mechanics of running up stuff, riding. You could ride stuff in world, but like to have like a dedicated buddy with you that you can ride at the same time and use your items, equipment, stuff like that. Very cool. I love the idea of having two different people with you at the same time and mix and match. It's really fucking cool. And yeah, it looks like it's gonna give just like I forgot what they called this, but the this fucking bug grappling hook thing, really cool. Like this is giving you experience that you can't get in World, and I love that they're, if they're gonna make a different game with a different name, make it different, and they did completely, while still maintaining Monster Hunter. So that's really fucking exciting to me. And then yeah, this Monster Hunter Stories or whatever the hell, something Ruin Wing something. Looks really neat. I thought the first one looked really neat, but I never got to play it.
For sure.
So I'm glad this is coming to Switch. I will pick it up 100%.
I even remember when the first one came out, you were telling me about it because I had kind of just dismissed it when it came out.
Yeah.
And you were telling me about all the features and like the amount of like in-depth content that was available to the game. And that aspect was very appealing to me because one of the things I miss from RPGs a lot of time is they don't have like the extras.
Yeah, for sure.
And it seemed like it was just chock full of that. So hopefully they bring that along when they make this as well. So.
Yeah, so it's just really cool to have two Monster Hunter games next year that I know of that I will be picking up and playing that are going to be completely different experiences than World. A game that I'm humoring buying for the third time on PC. Because it's such a great... Everybody knows Monster Hunter World's fucking fantastic. It's such a good game. And for what you pay for it, the value, just how much you get with it, how well supported Capcom, just coming back, fucking stronger than ever. Whatever they do next, I'll be excited for. But this looks awesome. This is not something I expected. I expected a Monster Hunter World port to Switch. And we got something completely different. Then with all the new monsters, I think they all look really cool. I love the Japanese theming of the game. Like everything's very Japanese. The monsters are very Japanese in a lot of the ways that they're designed, and the armors and all sorts of shit. So it's just it's cool. It just feels different. So really excited.
It does remind me a lot of like older Monster Hunters and just like the way it looks.
Yeah.
I'm really curious as to how the gameplay is going to be because I mean I've played all the older Monster Hunters before, just like you guys, and then playing World and going back to one of the older ones, you can definitely feel like the sluggish nature of the older ones.
Yeah.
And I really hope they maintain the combat styles of World into this, as well as like the item systems, because they were so streamlined.
Yep. And
I know a lot of people complained about it, like, well, it's not the same experience. I mean, it's a little less about maintaining constantly all this inventory at all times, which I still fucking do anyways in World, but it's just more streamlined, and I hope they bring it into it. I want to see more info about like how that gameplay works and how the weapons work, but overall I'm excited about it. I mean I like anything that's got a nice authentic Japanese theme to it. And this looks like, I mean, it's made by a Japanese company, so they're the ones who are going to do it right, and it looks fantastic. It looks amazing so far.
Although Japanese companies were jealous of Sucker Punch and what they did with Ghost of Tsushima, they're like, why can't we do this? So AAA. But I get what you're saying completely. If you're gonna get really fun with Japanese theming, Japanese company's gonna go all out with that. Someone else is only gonna kind of go like, well, katanas, you guys know what those are? Yeah, we're gonna have those in the game.
We have ninja. See,
there's ninjas in it. They got the ninja stars. You've seen Ninja Turtles before. So yeah, I agree with that. I
hope that they show us in the future maybe more weapons, because I know there's lots of weapons from other games that have been brought over, like the Magnet Axe is one of them, the Tonfas were another one, that have made appearances in other games that have not made appearances in American versions of the games. And I really hope they bring something like that to the table. It'd be really nice to see, because variety is a great thing to have, especially in Monster Hunter. There's already a shit ton of weapons already, but it's always nice to have more.
Oh, yeah, of course. If you maintain all the weapons that already exist and add more to it, it's just more ways to play. I mean, I know so many people who will pick like a main weapon at first, play through the game, and then, of course, go back and start fucking around with all of them. So
yeah, that was pretty much my MO. I went through the whole game of Longsword, and then once I got to post-game, I started dabbling in other things and ended up having as much fun and sometimes more fun with other weapons, depending on the fight. So the game allows for that, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm also glad they're keeping the layered armor settings, because it's really nice. It's a really nice feature to have. And I the last one I had another point, but totally just escaped my mind. Oh, weapons. I hope they go back to the old way of Monster Hunter weapons, where they all have unique look to them, all based on what the monsters look like, and they're not just like, here's this bone sword with a different sloth of skin covering it.
I think if there's one thing that World could improve on, there's not a lot there to improve on. Of course, they can make the game better, but they nailed the game so good. But it's that the individuality. The older Monster Hunters had a lot more unique weapons. You'd be like, oh, look what I got! Fucking,
So
it's got,
much
you know,
character. You could tell where the weapons came from because they lolooked like
exactly
that monster.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see that, and I'm pretty sure they're aware of that.
I would say they've definitely received that feedback because that was a very loud statement constantly being thrown out online all the time. Why are these weapons so boring? Why are these weapons so boring? So.
And then the last thing I have is I'd like to see it brought to like PC as well. At some point.
I mean, at that point, you should put it on everything and just give a crossplay. Do it. Capcom.
Do it.
Though that this is a Nintendo game, they haven't really been as generous, I guess, as where PS4 or PlayStation is starting to move towards. They're starting to play around with that PC release. We'll see where that goes, but Nintendo not so much. I mean, they don't even put their shit on mobile, like, you know, on phones and stuff like that. They make their own games on there, but they don't want other things on there. Like, they're very protective of exclusives, which I understand. I know a lot of you guys out there hate exclusives. That's a whole different conversation. But Nintendo and PlayStation, for now, are very protective of those exclusives. I'd love to see on everything as well, though. I think Monster Hunter can only benefit from more ways to play it, and if you could play it all together.
Yeah, really, at the end of the day,
the best way to do it.
That's going to come down to who has the majority of the rights to it. If it's Capcom, Capcom's totally willing to do PC games. So
sure.
Not always well, but
yeah.
But they definitely put things on PC. So
Capcom, make a fucking Lost Planet, please.
Or the first one and just modernize it.
Yeah.
Please.
Fucking. Obviously, it's not Monster Hunter related, but I'm just thinking of games ported, and one of the Lost Planets fucking port was awful on PC. Once you get it set up, the buttons, the game's great, but I would love a new fucking Lost Planet.
For sure.
Yeah, everybody's like, Dino Crisis. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want that Lost Planet more.
Dino
Crisis would be cool. So yeah, very exciting, very cool looking. I think we're all on the same page. You know, the game's unique looking. It's something different, which is really exciting. Switch exclusive. Looks like it plays well. Looks like it. You know, I agree with you with what you're saying. Looks like like the visual kind of reminds me of the older Monster Hunter games, but definitely the playability looks like a modern Monster Hunter game because if this was on a fucking 3DS, you wouldn't be running up these walls like this. So that that would not feel very good. So, and yeah. Super stoked. Anything else you guys want to add to it?
No.
Next year's gonna be great for Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
What was your opinion on the stories? You'll wait.
I'll wait till you guys play it and tell me how it is. I wasn't interested in the first one just because the cutesy look appealed to it didn't.
That's what threw me off
me.
originally too. But I just heard the amount of content I heard that was in the game became very appealing.
I don't know. I don't know much about the gameplay, but if it doesn't play like a regular Monster Hunter, I probably don't have much drive to play it.
It's a JRPG.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what sells me. If it's just a JRPG, I'll fucking take it. But Monster Hunter themes, yeah, I'm not trying to take that from you. I'm just saying, fucking any JRPG that looks colorful and clean, I'm like, what's that? What's that? What's that?
Well, and then it has like a very like almost like Pokemon system where you get monsty eggs and you raise them and try to get like the best stats and stuff like that. So.
And as long as they're not releasing those in the way of making new Monster Hunters. I don't like. I get where you're coming from. Where you're like, you know, if it's not a traditional Monster Hunter, I'm not interested. If we stopped getting Monster Hunters like this and started getting those, I'd be on the same page. I'd be on the same page. I'd be like, no, get rid of the fucking JRPGs, bring back Monster Hunter. But if we're getting them, at the same time, they're developing both these games. It's just more ways to enjoy Monster Hunter. I mean, like Final Fantasy in a weird way. Monster Hunter has like a thematic feeling to each Monster Hunter and monsters that people celebrate and love. And what's your favorite monster? What's your favorite monster? Oh, who's this new monster? And then they make their way into the next game. People are excited for it because they're excited for those fights and excited to see what new moves they'll do and stuff like that, and what old moves they'll do. And so, that can translate into a JRPG as well. Bring some of that flavor over. But yeah, if they're replacing it, or we started not getting, they only make Monster Hunter World and just keep making updates for that, which would be great. I'm fine with that. But then they're just popping out JRPGs. I'd be like, okay, stop developing those. Yeah. Like, let's go back to what's good. Like, So I get that. But yeah, I'm stoked for both. Yeah, let us know in the comments. What do you guys think about Monster Hunter Rise? Are you guys excited for it? I know you guys are. What are you most excited about for this? Is there any information you guys have heard that was not covered in this video? Any rumors you've heard maybe? We can talk about that a bit. What's your favorite monster? What's your favorite monster you guys saw? I mean, I don't expect you guys to remember all the names and shit, but...
the crane.
Yeah, the crane I think is really cool. I like the one that comes in threes, and they're fucking just spinning around and doing, like, martial arts, it looks like. Those ones right there, the great Izuchi. Yeah.
They're almost like that wind weasel serpent demon thing that they have in Japanese culture.
Yeah, kinda. I just like their animations. That fucking just boom, like it just seems very martial arts like. Which is funny because they're just all just looking at you like wow. And then this dude.
Oh, so that's my favorite.
I fucking love this guy.
I love the
Psyduck. Yeah, let us know your favorite monsters, new monsters, and what are you hoping to see in this, maybe brought from prior games? What new things we'd like to see? New weapons, possibly, new mechanics. What do you think about the running on the walls thing? What do you think about riding around on your Palamute and the bug? That's so scary. That little guy's holding his own, though. He's doing pretty good.
Well, he's climbing up him at first, and he's just like, okay.
Oh, okay. This is easier now. Okay. Yeah, let us know everything you're thinking about in the comments below. Also, Monster Hunter Stories 2. What do you think about that game? All right, so we did not cover this because this released like earlier in the day when I was working, but we skipped over Cyberpunk 2077 Night City Wire Episode 3. This just came out recently, like 2 days ago, and we're going to watch it. We've been watching all of these so far and been enjoying them. I don't know if you've made it to one of the reactions for these, so It'd be cool to hear your opinion on that. And yeah, anything you guys want to say before going into this? One thing I want to say real quick is been sold in Cyberpunk since I saw the teaser. Been sold on it on everything I've seen. Been sold on it when I saw the gameplay. All that shit. Super stoked for this game. Nothing's changed. I'm more stoked now than I ever was. Can't wait for this fucking game to come out. I don't need this video. I'm past it. I don't need to see any more stuff. I'm ready for the game. That's not to say I don't want to see this. We're going to watch it. I'm stoked to watch it. But if they stop doing these, I'm okay with that. Because I'm just... It's so close. I'm so fucking ready to play this game that I'm just like, let's fucking go, dude. Give me my fucking PS5. Give me my fucking Cyberpunk 2077. I was like, where am I going with this? Fucking... I'm just ready. I'm just ready for new shit. So, yeah. I'm excited to see this. But, man, I'm just ready to go, dude. Any thoughts?
Yeah, if I don't get a video card by the time this comes out, I'm going to be pissed. That's
my computer's going to run this at max graphics.
I'm trying to do that.
I'm excited.
I mean, I was on the fence about the game, and then I heard you could customize your junk, and I'm fully in on it now.
You were on the fence? This game looks fucking amazing.
You didn't hear anything about junks.
I can control my genitals? Alright, give me the game.
You can control...
The game was released, he's like, but what about the genitals? Like, oh, no, you can change those. Sold.
Give me now.
Alright, perfect. Alright, on that note, let's just jump into this.
You don't believe in no fate. Every day digging the grave. Stepping up here with the stakes. City of dreams, city of...
Hello and welcome to Night City Wire Episode 3, the show from us at CD Projekt Red, where we talk about all things Cyberpunk 2077. In today's episode,
special edition
we're going to start by taking you on a tour of Night City in a new gameplay video and have a chat with senior level designer Miles. Then we're going to introduce you to the gangs of Night City in another new gameplay video and have a chat with Mateusz from our quest team. Then before we finish today's episode, we're going to give you a look at some of the incredible finalists in our PC case modding contest. And we have some information that PC players have been waiting to hear. So let's get started. It's time to take you on a tour of Night City.
Yes, please.
Okay. Snacks on tour.
Bug snacks.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh my god, Juanita here. Today's news is Nova Max.
Hi there. New to Night City? It's not so bad here.
How we feeling today? Cause I feel amazing.
The food. The Thai on 7th and Haywood. The pierogies down by the docks. our home,
Snacks.
our pride. And as always, your business is my business.
And this is your World News Update.
I'm so fucking stoked. I love how just realized it is everything. Everyone looks so fucking different.
I'm saying the aesthetic.
Endless possibilities and endless lies.
We are fucked, America. And I don't know how we're gonna fix it.
The homeless population in Night City has risen by 300%.
Crime in Night City is now double the rate than in the new United States.
You want to be some kind of hero.
I'm still surprised
That's a fight this
Oh, yeah.
won't let you win. On your own,
You don't deserve it.
you're fucked.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, on that
You
note,
not
that's
keep
it
up
for
with
today's
this,
info
huh?
flash.
Not really.
Stay tight, Night City. The grass ain't greener anywhere else.
Night City. What does it mean to you? How well do you know its history?
I love how clean
Who
and
was
colorful it is,
Richard
but
Knight?
also shitty.
How many stations are in the
I'll
NCAR
say it's
system?
got all the
Which
Cyberpunk
city
stuff.
district boasts the best burrito in town?
No, everything's checked
The
off.
answers to these questions and more can be found at the address at the bottom of your screen. Check it out and fall in love
That's
with
a real
Night
website.
City all
Probably.
over again.
She pulls my trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger play here in Night City.
Well, since Night City is one of our stars of this episode, there is actually quite a lot to talk about. So let's start at the beginning. How did Night City come to be? Because yes, it exists in the world of the tabletop, but how do you take that and make what we've got now?
Well, yeah, as you can imagine, making a city that is as big and complex as Night City is quite the ambitious
so
project.
great
First
how
off, we sat
dense it
down and
is.
we were really considering what is it that we wanted to do with Night City. In a way, Night City is the star of Cyberpunk, right? It is
Those
one of
remind me
its
of the
main characters. We
cities
wanted
from
to
Dread,
make a
the
city
mega
that
city.
is
Yeah.
very,
That's
very
Cyberpunk.
believable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the word immersion gets thrown around a lot, but really, we wanted you to be able to dive into it and feel like this is a real place. And then secondly, we also wanted to provide enough variety
That's like
between
California right
districts
now.
so that exploring Night City will always be fun, right? There's no point in making a city that is all same-ish, and you know it doesn't really matter where you go because once you've been through one district, you feel like you've been through all of them. So for that,
Good.
we first off started taking a look at the real-life geography that Night City is located on, and that would be on the coast of California. Knowing that Night City would be a coastal city gave us a bit of insight into what we would expect
nice too, 'cause it
from the
does
city
look like
layout.
California.
You'd expect
Like,
a
they did a
port,
really good job
you'd
on making it
expect
feel like
huge
California.
industrial areas that would facilitate this kind of trade that you would assume a city of this type would have with the world. And then we went through and actually divided the city into several districts, 6 of them, and some of them are based on the original lore. We decided to give their own characteristics in terms of architecture, their demographics, the kind of people that would live there, and also the function
it's
within the
Cyberpunk
city.
or if
Each of
it's-
these districts, in turn, we divided into further sub-districts, which we further characterized using the more grand theme of the larger district. This process,
Made a
I think,
shooter
has
on
resulted in a
Xbox
city that
based
is
off it.
feels quite alive, has a lot
Oh,
of
fuck,
character,
I
where each district feels
Can't
like
remember the
its
name of
own
it.
distinct zone
Shadowrun.
without
Yeah.
feeling
one of
separated
them,
from the larger
they
picture.
have, like,
And
Seattle,
that
and it
results
was
in
3
something that
districts,
allows
so-
the player to easily navigate even the complex concrete jungles of Night City simply by looking around and always having a rough idea where you actually are.
But Night City is clearly so different from anything we've ever created with The Witcher. Can you give us some idea about, or some insight into just how big and like how densely packed Night City really is?
Yes. So I'm not
Yes.
exaggerating when I'm saying that Night City is easily the most complex thing that I or the others have worked on. The city is super organic, right? It's not like a chessboard layout, but the layout of the city is crazy, and you can tell that it grew in phases, right? Where buildings have been built on top of each other.
They wanted to make it feel
I
like
guess
there's
the mega buildings
structures
that we
built
have
on top of
showcased are a great
structures.
example of this. You'll actually see that they are located on some kind of pillar, you know, and then expand outside and then up high into the sky. And underneath it, you'll have space for other buildings. This yields a lot of interesting experiences when it comes to exploration. And that's the one thing I'm most excited about for players to experience. We've been saying that our exploration is super vertical, right? But what this really means is that it changes.
Yeah, I don't know.
the way
I just know in the
you
early
explore
part of the
city.
development, they said
Compared
they
to our
wanted
previous
the buildings to
games,
look like that.
you
Even
won't
in
be
the
able
teaser,
to
you saw
easily
old
set
buildings
out
and
on a
then
target
metallic
in the
buildings above it
distance,
that
right?
kind
You
of,
won't be able
they
to say,
said
oh,
keep
there's a
building
castle on
upward.
a hill over there, I'll try to get there, and then you'll be lost on the way. But here it's much more intimate, much more moment to moment. You might be roaming the cities and get a call by your fixer who informs you about a job nearby that you might be able to do, right? Or you find an alleyway and you walk down one of the many, many alleyways that the city has to offer, and it's always a surprise. You don't know if you might stumble upon some gangers hanging out that are up to no good. Sometimes, and these are the moments that I often get surprised with, you'd even stumble upon the odd elevator that is meant to connect parts of the, you know, different layers of the city. And it's quite astonishing sometimes to see where you come out when you enter one of these and, you know, find that, oh, this is actually how it connects to the world. That's crazy. And now I'm here, and now I know there's a shortcut that I can take.
That's neat.
Again, this all serves to really enhance this sense of wonder that we all come to love from open world games, and the whole city is built to cater to that.
I mean, you guys have really brought Night City to life, and I really want to make a point of that. It is a living, breathing city. So as a level designer, can you give us some insight into those little touches that you guys have made? Because I hear you guys have even been placing rubbish by hand.
Oh yes, we've been placing quite a bit of rubbish, and that's certainly one of the more glorious parts of being a level designer or an environment artist, where you get to litter the streets that you've spent time building with the garbage. But it's details such as this that we find really important to make the city feel alive, and also we take great pride in the process of making this, right? We have a lot of fun actually placing a lot of what we call mini stories, right? These are little encounters that you can find when you simply walk along the streets. Of course, we have huge quests, right? Side quests, we have lots of side activities that you can do, but it always is nice to just kind of stop down for a minute and take a look at your surroundings that we have so lovingly created, and try to see if there maybe isn't something that you can be a little detective for.
Outside of a
one
Rockstar
other
game,
thing
I'm
that I
never gonna
think
take
is
that from
really,
them.
really
Like,
cool is
fucking,
also the fact that
they
we
put the
have
work in, but
actually named every
I don't
single
think other people
street
put
in
the
the
same
city.
work in as
So
these guys are
not
on
only
this
will
outside of a
NPCs be
Rockstar
able to
game.
communicate their locations or the locations they want you to visit by sort of referring to the street names, but also you will be able to talk to your friends about it in that way, right? Have you been to Poplar Street in Japantown, for example?
Streets where I live now.
And I think this is a small detail, but the philosophy that we have with these kind of things is that, you know, many, many small things contribute to the sum of it, which is hopefully then you being able to explore a city that you feel is truly alive and that you haven't been experiencing before.
Well, Miles, thank you so much for giving us your insight. I suppose when the game launches, you could be an official Night City tour guide instead, right?
I might be, yeah. You know, if this game dev thing doesn't work out for me, I might retire and become a tour guide in Night City.
Yeah, that game.
Don't forget that if you are tuning in late or if you just want to watch anything again, we will be uploading everything to our channels soon. Now, from the 6th Street to the Valentinos, it's time to introduce you to the gangs of Night City.
Time to pick your club, boys.
So that's already gonna be a corpo.
I want to be a stripper.
I'm gonna be a real piece of shit.
I want to be a stripper. What do it?
Hopefully you can do that.
You know how things work in Night City? Stronger survive, but that's how things stand. You're either somebody or you fizzle out into nothing.
Dead Sea ain't a city that lets you get by without buddies.
Be very careful, my friend. We are all so far from home.
Which gang's the city's biggest and baddest, according to the NCPD?
Scavs hold the body count title. Or Maelstrom, depending on the season.
One time, a Maelstrom ganger killed a young kid right in front of my eyes for shits and giggles. Chrome-sucking psychos. And who the fuck are you to say what can and can't be? I'm gonna introduce you to our meat grinder.
Yeah, so weird.
About time we had some fun! Think
I like how far they've gone with the augments. But their fucking skull is now changed from it.
Just a gang like any other, right?
Take the Valentinos. They follow God and the Santa Madre. Honor means something to them.
How'd you meet Jack?
We started out together.
In the Valentinos?
No, in the fucking Bible book club. I gotta give style points to the Valentinos.
Man, that guy was taking down.
Punishment for every occasion.
Gangster life, puto!
Quick shout out to everyone in Haywood and Santo Domingo. Lately, the Valentinos and 6th Street have had a bigger bone to pick.
6th Street. Why'd they want to wipe you?
I can't fucking stand Tinos.
Fucking suck!
I've dealt with 6th Street before. We do the run, they'll transfer the cred.
Come on, let's go before 6th Street shows up.
Shot! Any more Second Amendment fans in the house, huh?
Hate those bastards. Vomit lofty patriotic bullshit all day. Time to bring on the future.
Any idea how many attacks from behind the Black Wall we neutralized? If the Voodoo Boys breach the Black Wall, we'll all be fucked.
Voodoo Boys. Urban myth, I thought. Just net runners spooking each other. No such gang.
You know, I heard a few things about you. Voodoo Boys, best runners in town.
You do not steal from the Voodoo Boys. I see you
always. Fucking, there's so much shit
For them,
going on.
Pacificas just hate
I feel like actually
their own
real
island,
life
cut off
cultural
from the rest of the
gangs.
city.
They actually said earlier on they wanted it to feel like that.
Until last week, the animals crawled in.
Animals are the craziest fucking gang in this.
Chris isn't gonna get past character progression.
He's not gonna get past the junk slider. Like, oh no.
Animals aren't the play here, are they?
It's like, which one
They're hired muscle. Someone else
says
needed.
I'm business?
I fucked you over. You fucked the gang over. Somewhere at the start of the story, somebody fucked the corp. See how this works now?
My husband's new Westbrook, very high in the tiger claws. They did what made the best eddies. Sold sex and black market tech.
Sword.
See a lot of tigers. They run this place.
Know what else they do well? Break the knees of people who
Yeah.
Gotta do something.
I love everything
The
we've
tigers
seen
will
right
kill
now.
us. Come
Oh,
on,
that's
baby.
me right there.
That's the most
I'm gonna join
melee
this
scene.
gang.
Claws
This
killed
is my
one
gang
girl
right here,
too
the
many,
Boxers.
so people took matters into their own hands.
Folk went ballistic. Girls,
So that's like some of
pimps,
the most
outcasts,
melee
the
we've seen.
whole
Yeah.
freak show. It's how the Mox got started.
Think you're some kind of gangoon now, huh?
Us Moxes have each other's back. We look out for one another. You're looking for some company tonight?
How'd you hook up with the Mox?
I thought Susie and the gang could really change something in this city.
Moxes and nomads don't seem so different. Both seem to yammer a lot about community, solidarity. Tell me about the Badlands. Not much going on out here, huh?
Au contraire. This is an ecosystem. Nomads, Raft and Shiv, corporations, and drifters, they form a complete whole. Remove one part, the delicate balance topples.
Here in the Aldecaldos, it all stays in the family.
Classic dilemma. What comes first? Family or the outside world?
This family will go to hell and back.
Everyone in
So
this
much
city
fucking
lives in their own bubble, and either you fly high or sink into quicksand.
Ooh.
That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Mateusz, thank you so much for joining us. I have personally been really excited to give people a closer look at the gangs. We've shown a little bit on Twitter, but their styles are so distinct.
Yes, I enjoyed them a lot as well in our game. I think they're very cool.
But let's start then with the kind of role that they play, because gangs really do
And
play
really
a
sell it.
prominent role in
I
Night
think they're
City,
really cool.
correct?
Yes, definitely. The gangs, they rule the streets of Night City. You know, they have the newest cyberware, they have the newest weaponry, and they are really a power that everyone needs to take into account when they are thinking of operating in Night City. You will encounter them as you explore the city, of course, but also as you complete main quests, side quests, different jobs for the fixers. Sometimes you might even get hired by them.
But then, I suppose everybody's thinking then, can you join a gang?
Well, V is a merc, and mercs of Night City are this unique, distinct group that stick mostly to themselves, right? And they get jobs from variety of factions. They can get jobs from corporations, they can get jobs from gangs, they can get jobs from different kind of like influential clients. Because of this, nobody will ever trust a merc to be one of them, right? And the gangs are no exception here. They are looking only for like people that they know will be loyal to them, right? And that they will fight for their cause all of the time, not just some of the times when it's profitable to them. So because of this, V will mostly stick to the Afterlife. And the Afterlife are this group of mercs, this legendary group of mercenaries in Night City. They get the best jobs, they get the most money, the best clients, and so on. So if you want to become a legend in Night City, you are going to the Afterlife.
So we've obviously mentioned distinct style then. So does that mean there are kind of special gang-themed weapons and items and clothing for players to find and use?
Yes, definitely. There are different vehicles that you can drive, for example. There are cars, there are motorbikes. Then, of course, there are different pieces of clothing themed after gangs. There are weapons and so on. So yeah, definitely there are things to look forward to.
I suppose as somebody who's spent as much time as you have kind of getting to know the gangs, I have to ask, which is your favorite and why?
So I would have to say probably Maelstrom, simply because they have this unique, distinct feel and this weird aesthetic about them. So the idea about Maelstrom is they are people who want to cross the boundary between the machine and human, right? They are changing so much of their body with cyberware that they no longer look human, really. On top of that, they are also very unpredictable. It's very difficult to say what they will do at any point when you meet them. At one moment, they can be shaking hands with you, and at the other moment, you know, they will pull gun out on you, and they bring in this element of chaos into the game, which I really enjoy, personally.
Oh, Matty, thank you so much for joining us. It's always interesting to learn what your favorite gang is. I think it kind of tells me a little bit about you.
Oh, does it? What does it say about me?
Little robots do the cleaning.
We'll talk about that later. But for now, before we wrap up today's episode, we asked people to show us their creativity and design a PC case mod, Cyberpunk style. Our panel of judges selected 5 finalists, and we teamed them up with professional case modders to bring their concept to reality.
Cool.
These 5 amazing designs will be fighting for the main prize, an Alienware Aurora PC, along with other awesome gaming peripherals. Brought to you by our partners, Alienware, NVIDIA, and SteelSeries. Let's see the mods.
I absolutely loved this one.
The whole aesthetic works with each other.
I don't think you're making that.
Absolutely next level. Honestly, kind of terrifying.
Exactly the type of thing I would expect to find at a trade show.
It really looks like it could have come straight out of the game.
If it wasn't for the fact it had to be that Alienware.
To watch the full PC case modding video and to get more information about when the winning design will be available on charity auction, stay tuned to our social media channels. Looking at those PC case mods, it reminds me that we do have one more thing to reveal. If you're going to be playing Cyberpunk 2077 on PC when it launches this November, we do have some specs to share that I think some of you have been waiting for. The minimum system requirements for Cyberpunk are a Windows 7 or 10 PC, an Intel Core i5 3570K or AMD FX 8310, 8 gigs of RAM, and an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 780 or an AMD Radeon RX 470. In the storage department, the game will take up roughly 70 gigs of space, and although it will run off a HDD, we do recommend an SSD.
Graphics cards is 780.
As for the recommended specs, you're in the green if you're rocking Windows 10, an Intel Core i7 4790 or AMD Ryzen 3 3200G. 12 gigs of RAM, and an NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060 or AMD Radeon R9 Fury.
The only thing I don't have is the processor.
Thank you so much for joining us for episode 3 of Night City Wire. Don't forget that if you've missed anything or if you just want to watch again, we will be uploading everything to our channels shortly, and we will be back soon with episode 4.
Good question. Never play a game ever if you can't play at the max graphics.
Also, the game does have ray tracing and stuff in it, so.
Yeah. All right, what do we think?
I mean, honestly, it's amazing every time, and they every time I'm like, oh, they showed me everything. I don't really. There's nothing for them to show me. I'm wrong every time, apparently, because knowing that there's like that many gangs and how different they'll look and being able to see different sections of the city and how densely designed it is, and even with all the them showing like the TV personalities and stuff like that, I don't know, man, like there's so much work in this game, it's insane. And I really appreciate it. It's a living, breathing world, and I just can't wait to explore it.
Yeah. Chris?
You can tell that they put a lot of love into this game, because I mean they're even putting down like this is rubbish manually by hand. It's not just generated. They're specifically that they're putting it so it feels more realistic. Which they don't have to do that, but they're doing it because they care that much about this game and succeeding, which is really neat. Yeah. And I just like the variety, like the real variety of like the gangs that you have. They're not just like very generic. They feel very much like unique and individual, and they have their own color schemes and weapon schemes. It seems like there's a lot of care put into this so far. It's really exciting to see.
Yeah. Although the end of this kind of felt a little weaker just because it's more like, PC specs, which is something we need to see. But and then the PC case thing, which is cool. Seeing the gangs was very fucking cool to kind of get to see and meet all the different looks and locations of them. But also seeing this whole play out of the city and seeing like the vibe of it and juxtapositions of different kinds of parts of the city. Really fucking cool. Kind of like what you said, every time I'm like, oh, it looks great, blah, 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 and they got something new to show us. I guarantee when this game comes out, we still haven't seen everything.
Yeah.
Which is great, because there's some games, I always bring up Watch Dogs as being one of the prime examples. When I played that game after it was shown off so much, I felt like I'd already played it. And this game, they're showing a lot, but they're also not showing a lot in the sense of like they're not showing you like a 40-minute gameplay thing. They did that one time, but like that was early on. But like we're still not getting someone just playing the game in front of us. And like even if they did, I feel like they'd still, when they say they've like done so much work to make it like complex, it really does seem like it. Every time they show off this game, I'm seeing newer shit, which is really fucking cool. I mean, this map is going to be smaller than The Witcher 3's map, but and that's fine. But the amount of detail and work they're putting into the complexity of the city, but also what's going on in it, is more exciting to me than the size of a map. We've talked about that a million times on the show, and I'm really on the side of we're post the biggest map ever. Unless you can densely populate that with shit that matters, I don't give a fuck about the size of the map anymore. I care about the complexity of it. I care about how much it's living and breathing, how much there's things to do, how much exploration matters. I don't want to play a game that you go down an alleyway and it's just like, okay, well, this is a dead end, I'll go back this way. Or you do a mission, you go down that way, and now you got to backtrack this way, and there's nothing going on. Like, I want a city that I want to not want to leave. And this game does seem like it's going to offer that, which is really exciting. So yeah, all in all, every time, I kind of said at the beginning, I'm ready for this game. I'm ready for this game to come out. I'm glad I watched that because it got me pumped. Every time I see something on this game, I get pumped for it. So I love that it has its own identity outside of just being Cyberpunk, which they've done and nailed. But even like the music they've made for this game, everything about it just seems like they're offering you something with this game that a lot of people just can't offer you. They haven't invested themselves this much into a game, and that's not even bad. Some people want to make a game for 3 years, and that's good when you games that are not going to take like a long time to make. But and then sometimes games take forever to make, and then they don't turn out that well. And this seems like it's going to be one of the cases where you had a game that people are super dedicated, put a lot of time into, a lot of care into, and I think it's going to pay off. It really looks like it. From what I've seen so far, this is already a game that I have to play. I know I'm going to like this game, and I know there's stuff here that they're not even showing yet. just because of just the amount of densely packed detail and that they put into this game. I feel like we've barely touched the surface. So all in all, really cool episode of Night City Wire. I'm wondering what they'll do next. I'm not even gonna try and guess because each one of these has been kind of a surprise for me. And I'd probably grade this one probably like a B, just because the parts that were really good, but towards the end it kind of tapered off in some of the more communal stuff that I don't care as much about, I guess. Charity's great. I love that. And I love that people are designing towers, but I don't really care too much about that. So, but the gang stuff and the city stuff, very cool. Very excited. What'd you guys grade it?
Yeah, probably stick with B.
Yeah. I mean, it was intriguing. It wasn't like super like crazy hype, but it was definitely very intriguing and exciting. But like you said, when it got down to like the tail end of it, it just kind of tapered off.
Yeah, there's nothing that left off with big.
I say the last one was one where they did the weapons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one
which
was
is awesome.
Yeah. So maybe I'll have to make Chris watch it
someday. I'll just play the game when it comes out. All right, anything else you guys want to say?
NVIDIA, hurry up and stock some video cards so I can play this at full.
Yeah.
I think they're going to listen.
Better.
Let us know in the comments what you guys think about this episode of Night City Wire, Episode 3. What's your favorite parts? What were your least favorite parts? I've heard had a couple people tell me that they were not as stoked about this one as the prior episodes, which I kind of understand where you're coming from. Are you still sold on this game? Are you still kind of like going, I'm not sure? I feel like not a lot of you are. Everyone I talk to is like, yeah, dude.
I think I've only really talked to one person who was like,
I've talked to a couple people. I've talked to people who are going to pick it up, but they're not like stoked on it. They're more like curious to see, which is so weird to me because I love like Cyberpunk as a genre so much that I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
Like it's fine, like have your opinion, but I'm like, what do you mean? What do you like? They're like, oh, it looks okay. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
This literally doesn't exist.
I'm so confused because there's not other games like this. Like the closest thing is Deus Ex, which is great, but not even on this fucking scale. But yeah, most excited feature that you saw here. What gang do you think was the coolest one?
Moxie's. What kind of question is that?
I don't remember the names, but I definitely liked the the Asian like Chinatown style
Tiger Claw.
Yeah, and then second to that, I actually kind of agree with the guy where I like the cybernetic gang, but that's just because
Maelstrom,
it's thematically what I expect.
Hookers and cross and hose.
I like that they have. It's not my favorite, but I like that they have a like patriotic one just to kind of mix it up a bit and be a little less cliche, I guess, to have something that's like, different. But yeah, I agree with you. The Tiger Claw and the Maelstrom are my two more interested ones, just because Maelstrom's neat for the technological aspect of it. Voodoo Boys are cool too, though. I like that they're like a bunch of fucking hackers, essentially. It's pretty neat that they don't even know if they exist, because it's just like all this fucking cyber shit. But
plugged in for too long.
Yeah, but yeah, Maelstrom's really cool because I love that idea of losing your humanity to technology and the strive to become, more technologically intricate. You're losing yourself in it, and when you look at their heads and they're, completely mechanical or halfway mechanical, it's fucking neat. And then the fucking Tiger Claw one, really neat just because it's Japanese aesthetic shit.
Well, there's just really so many like melee weapons that they showed off during that part too, which we haven't really seen.
Yeah, swords and stuff.
Yeah, one like they weren't just like what you like that vibrant blue one. I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like that's not what I would have expected.
Well, the guy with the fucking dual blades, they were like fucking lit up and shit. Yeah. Really cool.
I was a little surprised not to see like an anti tech, anti cyberware like group though, because that usually
like a cult or something.
Yeah, it usually kind of exists.
Like in Ghost in the Shell.
Well, in all cyberpunk things, there's always a sect of people who are like
purists.
Yeah, humans aren't meant to be like this. So,
which would definitely be a thing for sure. Someone's gonna go, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Just like people are like, you can't get tattoos. That's crazy.
Yep.
But yeah, I agree. But let us know what gang's your favorite one, which one is your least favorite one, and let us know everything you're thinking about when it comes to Cyberpunk in the comments below. It's coming out so fucking soon, guys. I'm so stoked. And then it's that time where we read you guys' comments and respond to them. Make sure to type in hashtag AskTLG on your comment if you'd like to be considered on the show. Otherwise, I pick at random. So hashtag AskTLG on your comment. We had a weird snag this last week where Tastycast had to be uploaded twice, and it released at one point, but it's still blocked, and I had to let YouTube fucking mute a part of the video, and then they re-released it, but I don't think they told people about it. So if you didn't get a chance to watch that Tastycast, make sure to go check that out. But yeah, we didn't get any comments on that one, which is cool. But we got comments on this video. So yeah, I did. I covered the PS5 shortage that was taken fucking back real fast. I should probably talk about that real quick. So on Tasty Tuesday, I covered that there was going to be a PS5 shortage. Originally, they said that there was going to be 15 million PS5s made and shipped out for launch, and then they had to cut that back to 11 million. And then after I read that on IGN and GameSpot, and then I did the video, I edited it, I put it up, I uploaded it, checked Twitter, GameSpot, and fucking IGN were like, oh, Sony, we contacted Sony, they said that's not real. I'm like, oh, okay. Okay, so
we did some journalism, and
we did our jobs.
Yeah, so I don't know what's real, but I got mine pre-ordered, so I guess I'm one of the millions. But hopefully, there's plenty of them. And then I talked about Take-Two CEO doesn't think cloud gaming is the future. His words, as opposed to the article saying that he said it's not the future. He really was saying financially he doesn't see it being profitable for him. And as the dude who is over Grand Theft Auto 5 and its success, I think he knows what he's talking about when it comes to that. Although he also said he's not into VR and fucking does Take-Two oversee? Oh God, I swear that they've overlooked another company that's in VR games. I can't remember. Anyway, they make a lot of money. So when he says he's not viewing things as financially viable for him, I kind of believe it. But I think it's hard to deny that there will be a lot more cloud gaming in the future, which would make the future of gaming cloud-based. Inevitably, I feel like. So we got a comment from Runty that says, I think that streaming is likely the future of gaming, but I agree that the technology is not quite there yet. Though I think this also has an impact on the other examples you brought up as well. Physical versus digital. In general, technology will just get better, more pervasive, and eventually the switch to digital everything will happen. Maybe not in our lifetimes. I do worry that we will start to see gaming become more like social media. It's an interesting point. We already see this with many mobile games. These services are designed to keep you engaged and to predict your behavior to their own financial benefit. It's a slippery slope. In fact, Facebook knows when you're hungry and when you go to the bathroom.
Ew.
Through its algorithms. This comment brought to you by Raid Shadow Legends. Thoughts?
I mean, I pretty much agree when it comes to they're gonna make a push for it as an industry, anyways, just because it's purely in their benefit, and they can sell it to us as convenience, but they get full control over it at that point. Makes piracy more difficult, makes cheating more difficult, and all profits go directly to them. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I agree the technology is not quite there yet. I think. I mean, I don't know super much about net technology, but Google Fiber, if it's more readily available everywhere, will make a big change because that service is a lot more powerful than normal internet.
I say we have fiber here, so
there you go. And that would make streaming a lot easier. It's a matter of the net services. I know the middle of the U.S. in particular has really bad internet services.
Well, even outside the United States, people don't recognize that, and people are always like, oh, in Europe, well, cool, Europe's not the world. There's a lot of countries that have shit internet.
Yeah.
And when you listen to Microsoft talk about stuff, even when I talked to Dean Takahashi, he was saying, Microsoft already kind of accepts that they got a lot of people, but they're trying to figure out how to get people who don't play video games to play video games. So if they're thinking in that sense, they're also going to be thinking about, if we're going to stream games, any company, how can we make sure everybody's going to get to be able to play it? And if you've got all these countries that aren't going to be able to play it effectively, it's not going to be the standard.
Right.
They're gonna go for where the money's at.
Well, and you got companies out there trying to make the internet accessible everywhere too. I think it's Elon Musk's project to put satellites all around the world. That
originally they want to put balloons.
It was balloons, yeah.
Yeah, I know they already have like over 100 satellites up now at this point. That they're just trying to make this whole network that anywhere you are, you can have access to the internet. So it's kind of crazy.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, kind of freaks me out a little, but
should everything should scare you. Anything new should be scary. But yeah, and so in these conversations, it's always interesting to talk about like what the future may be. And I always say the future is from now till whenever. So like it's hard for me to fathom a future very far into the future where everything isn't being streamed. It just makes sense. But again, the market will always dictate that until the market doesn't need to matter to that. So if people don't want to buy it and they're not making money on it, they're not going to do it.
They'll backpedal real quick, yeah.
Vinyls, books, all that shit are things where the market said, fuck you, I don't want that. I want the traditional stuff still. And we'll see what happens here. But again, what I said in that episode, and I'll say it again, is I view streaming as for now and into the not too distant future to be a complement to gaming. And we're already seeing it with Flight Simulator, the newest one. There's a mode that you can play that's just straight up the game, and then there's a mode you can play that uses streaming technology to I think load in like satellite or from satellites like weather and stuff like that that's going on in real time. And so that's being streamed. So you're playing a game that's downloaded over 100 gigs, but you also have stuff that's being streamed to the game dynamically. And so with these technologies becoming more accessible, I think you're going to see new and creative ways that's going to be used outside of just straight up playing the game. And then I think you will be able to play these games if you can do it. And it'll just be a thing you can do on the side like I'm doing with xCloud right now. It's not my primary way of playing games. I don't even want to fucking play my games like that. But it's neat when I'm on my way to work or fucking when I'm at work or if I'm out and about doing something and I want to fucking play something. It's right there, which is neat. So
yeah, I still think it's going to be the standard is eventually of gaming.
I feel like it has to be.
It's going to be. I mean, even you look at Netflix now. People don't buy a lot of movies anymore. Not depending on a lot of people I know. Maybe like once in a while they'll buy one they think is really neat, like they're really special to them. They'll buy that physical copy. But people just bought Netflix. They did digital movies. It's just how things are going these days.
I had a guy on Twitter telling me that streaming was in the future for like anything, and I'm like, tell that to fucking Blockbuster. Tell that to DVD sales, Blu-ray sales. Tell that to everyone who's fucking on Netflix, Disney Plus. Tell that to people who use Spotify. Like, what are you talking about?
Spotify
if you can do it with games, why would you not? It's the only thing that's not being streamed right now, and they're working on it. So obviously, it seems as though they're trying to get it to happen. So it's kind of a weird thing for people to kind of deny that. I know people who are all on board, like fuck physical, fuck all this shit. Like I just want streamed. I think there's a whole conversation to be had there, obviously. But at some point, I can see a future where like whatever the fuck we're carrying on us or whatever the fuck we have implanted in us in the future, where we do all of our social media stuff, where we watch movies, stuff like that. I can see coming home and just straight from your phone while you're on there, just load up a game. It's on your TV, and then you pick your controller of choice and just start playing. You don't think about anything. You just go, I want to play that game. And it just does it. Or you do it from your TV, but I say on your phone because I feel like everything eventually is going to be connected to whatever device you are always using at all times, and I see that being phones. These eventually will be in us, but in some degree. But it just makes sense for me to do that. And then they'll find ways to sell physical stuff to people because I know people are always going to want to collect things. I'm not seeing that in decline anywhere.
No, I think people naturally enjoy collecting.
Yeah.
So.
Well, no one wants to live in a bleak future where you're in a white fucking walled room with nothing on the walls and everything's fucking digital and you just load up your lights and just like there's nothing, there's no design to it, and it's just like that just sounds like an awful like fucking Soviet Union future where everything's just bleak and shitty. And the only thing that is good is the digital games you can stream onto your TV.
Really, the closest thing I can see
it's all that you have.
People being okay with that is if you remember in Cloud Atlas where they're in like essentially like a warehouse style room.
Yeah,
and
that's
the whole
wild.
thing holograms into whatever appearance you want.
Ghost in the Shell.
Which is cool and depressing at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're sitting in a fucking metal box and you're like, let's make it look nice.
Reality is perception. And if you perceive that room to look like that, that's the reality.
Yeah. It's delusion, though.
Life is a delusion.
Some people. I'm pretty on it. But yeah, let's see what else you said. And then what do you think about what she says about the mobile games and kind of the social media aspects that could be pervasive into that? Do you guys have any opinion on that?
Not so much.
I kind of feel it when I play Street Fighter and fucking it's advertising to me while I'm trying to play, or when I'm on Xbox and I'm in the middle of playing a game and it pauses me and goes, "Hey, you want Xbox Live?" I'm like, maybe, at a time that you're not fucking bothering me when I'm playing a game.
So they're going to keep toying with it until they find a spot where people aren't complaining about it.
Yeah.
Well, Capcom, I was just giving them a lot of props earlier. Capcom's been one of the leaders of like just going like, is advertising okay to do in games? They're like, no. And they're like, sure, can we just
do this anyways?
Just a little bit of ads? No, none. I don't know. I think he'll accept it if we just do a certain amount.
So many creative ways they could be doing it that they're not doing it. Like you can literally just put product placement inside the game that world has insert cola brand here.
I think Ubisoft is this. A couple companies have done that before.
Yeah, and that just makes sense to me because it's.
Yeah,
that was blatant though.
But it was still exactly.
And Coleman, all the Coleman camping equipment.
Yeah, but see that one felt.
I don't like that shit in fucking Final Fantasy 15 though, because that shit doesn't belong in Final Fantasy 15. If it was like a hunting game, perfect. I would not even question it. You play a racing game and I was like, fucking Subaru's in this. That's a little fucking on the nose. What's up with these advertisements? So it's like if you play something else and like there's a Pepsi can on the table, a lot of people are going to go, oh, fucking Death Stranding.
Yeah.
People are like, what was it, Monster? People are like, you see the Monster cans?
I don't know. I got over that real quick, though, because it was just a drink.
Yeah, and if you play far enough, you replace it with beer anyway.
Well, and the other thing, too, is, like, how does it feel? Like, to use the cup of noodle thing, when he's talking about cup of noodle, the voice actor's tone is not even the character anymore. He literally is just monotone advertising cup of noodles. So it doesn't even feel natural, period, just because he sounds like a robot at that point. He's like, I love cup of noodle. You can add all sorts of things to spice it up, like this and this and this. And I'm just like, oh my god.
Come on,
this is so
more
bad.
natural than a giant cup of noodle hat.
But at least that's funny. It's not like Final Fantasy is like hasn't done like goofy stuff before. I mean, look at like some of the weapons in like Final Fantasy VII, like the nail bat and stuff like that. I mean,
umbrellas.
Yeah, but it's not a Nerf bat. They're not talking about Nerf. Sure. Nerf or nothing.
Well, that's my point. Like, there's a point of like, are we just being goofy or are we just blatantly advertising?
They're blatantly advertising.
Yeah.
They're being goofy to cover for it, but they're blatantly advertising.
Sure.
They took money to put that in the game. But I don't care, because if they want to do it, they want to do it. It didn't ruin the game for me. It's just something that you definitely notice. You're like, oh, I don't know about that. But I mean, I feel like I brought up a pretty disappointment with the fucking racing game. Like, those are all companies.
Yeah.
And no one questions that, because you like cars, so you're like, oh, right, I want to drive the Ferrari. But I mean, you know, there's no one in a game that's going to see a Pepsi can and go, oh, right, I want to drink the Pepsi. I love Pepsi. But it's still product. I mean, like, it's so... You got to kind of pick and choose that kind of thing, I guess. And I feel like that is a better way to do advertising. I will take Final Fantasy 15's dorky ass cup of noodle over the game pausing and asking me to purchase something any day.
Yes.
They're both cheesy, but one's annoying. The other one, I cannot wear the cup of noodle hat.
No, you can't.
It's just glued on
You
forever.
have to wear it.
Once you put it on, it's stuck. You're just cup of noodle now forever.
Well,
just like real cup of noodles.
It's also a side quest, so like you can technically avoid it.
Yeah.
So
my biggest gripe with the cup of noodle and Coleman shit in Final Fantasy 15 is it does not fit the aesthetic of Final Fantasy 15. If it was in another game, I wouldn't have cared as much.
Or
but
if they at least like made up something that looked like it belonged in that world.
Yeah, just because if it was a futuristic cup of noodle thing or something like that, it'd be different. But like that's a different world that doesn't exist. It's a fantasy world. It's a futuristic world, and they're like cup of noodle. You guys know cup of noodle. Coleman? You guys know Coleman. I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't. Why the fuck are you talking about it? But yeah, outside of those more blatant things, there's definitely a lot of ways you can become more intrusive with you know, social media type designs and mobile gaming, stuff like that.
You just gotta be clever
Advertising.
with it. That's the problem. You need to be clever with it if you're gonna include it into your game. You really need to be really clever about it. Otherwise, it just feels very intrusive.
Yeah, I agree. You guys played Raid Shadow Legends?
Nope.
Huh?
Have you ever played Raid Shadow Legends? Who? I haven't either. I've met like two. I've talked to like 2 people who have. That's about it. So
I know of no one who plays that.
it's probably good. I heard somebody say it wasn't too bad.
Uh-huh.
I won't find out. Thank you for the comment, Runty. And yeah, I pretty much agree with everything you said. And then we got Keith saying pretty bloodshot eyes there, which he's referring, I assume, to me, unless there's someone in the video. I don't know who you're talking to here, son. I'm tired. I'm always tired.
Was that like a wake up before work and film?
Oh, yeah. No, I woke up, fucking did this. I was half asleep when I did it. And they're not that fucking bloodshot. They're kind of bloodshot. Are you implying I'm high? Or fucking tired? Because I was tired. I promise.
So the first one's super unlikely. The second one is pretty likely.
Yeah, I don't smoke the fucking devil's fucking cabbage.
Devil's lettuce.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then Jeremy said, "Hey, are you guys reacting to the event live? Just asking, so I can make sure to catch the stream." We did.
We did.
We did do it, and you were there. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for hanging out. I'm glad we could get that info over to you. I did respond. Yeah, so thank you for all the comments we got this week. They're all very appreciated. And yeah, if you want your comment to be on the show on TastyCast, which won't be the next weekend because we got Plus Club and Game of the Month, I think, coming up really soon. Make sure to type in hashtag STLJ on your comment. Otherwise, I will pick a comment or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 at random. But that's going to do it for this episode of TasteCast, episode 125. As always, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, at Tasteful Gaming. I gotta get the rhythm in my head. I gotta get a fucking way to say that. Fucking Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, the Twitter. And yeah, we have Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. If you prefer to listen to us in audio form, we got more and more people listening, which is great. We have a Patreon link down below as well. You can support the channel if you would like to do that. It's very appreciated. Thank you. And anything else? Discord. We have stuff. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
And I'm Chris.
Until the next episode, which will be Taste Tuesday. Have a good weekend, guys, and take it easy.